Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to WTracks.
Hello, everyone. This is David Marvel Burton back with another show. And the first thing I want to talk about is it's a little bit of some sad news. Yesterday, we was a major loss in the wrestling world. We lost one of the all-time greats in Bobby the Brain Heenan. He passed away yesterday at the age of 72. And Bobby was the greatest manager of all time. Bobby was the best. I mean, the guy was just unbelievable. And here's a little background information for those of you who are not too familiar with Bobby or may didn't know much about Heenan. Heenan's career spans several decades. He was in the business from 1960 all the way up until the year 2000 when he retired for good. And he's had a long, illustrious career. He's spent time in the AWA, WCW, and of course the WWE. And in the AWA, he managed a team of Ray Stevens and Nick Bockwinkel with several tag team titles. In the AWA, he also managed the Blackjacks to a tag team title reign in the AWA, and he also managed Nick Bockwinkel to several world title runs in the AWA. Nick Bockwinkel also passed away a few years ago. But anyway, back to Heenan. Heenan was just a master at everything he did. I mean, this guy can get the fans riled up like no other. And he would stay into the AWA up until September 1984 when he would go to the WWE. He was originally supposed to manage Jesse Ventura, but Jesse Ventura had some issues with his lungs that kept him from wrestling, so he began to manage the late Big John Studd. And it was in the WWE he got his most famous fame was in the WWE. I mean, him and Studd feuded with Andre. Years later, he would manage Andre the Giant. I mean, Heenan was just a master at every single thing he did. I mean, here's a list of some of the people the guys managed. I mean, Ken Patera, Bunny Rose, Paul Orndorff, King Kong Bundy, Andre the Giant, Arn Anderson, Rick Rude, Harley Race, Mr. Perfect, the Brooklyn Brawler, the Red Rooster, the Islanders. His career was just unbelievable. This guy, you know, over the last several years, he's had some health issues with throat cancer. And after that, it pretty much started going downhill because he's had health issues for years and years. It started when he broke his neck in 1983 in Japan on a tour with the AWA. And his health has just been declining ever since. I mean, his face, I don't even want to talk about his face. I don't even know what to say about his face. But his face changed from his injuries and his illnesses. It was just, his health was a mess. But he lived a long and successful life. After being in the WWE, he would venture on to WCW and make his debut in January of 1994, replacing Jesse Ventura, who was fired by Eric Bischoff for allegedly falling asleep on the job. He would stay in the WCW up until 2000. After WCW, he would retire for good. He would return to WWE at WrestleMania 17 in 2001 to commentate for the Gimmick Battle Royal. He would be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2004. And his last WWE appearance was 10 years ago on an episode of Raw, where it was Mr. McMahon's Appreciation Night. That was Heenan's last appearance. And right now, currently up on the WWE Network is the DVD that they put out on Bobby Heenan several years ago. which is up on the network right now. For those of you who haven't seen it, I suggest you watch it and check it out because it's very, very good. You get to hear comments and stories from Heenan's friends and his colleagues and his family, his wife and daughter, on the DVD as well. Just check it out. It's a good story. I mean, the guy dropped out of high school to take care of his mother and his grandmother. He dropped out of high school to take care of his mother and his grandmother. Now, that's amazing. And that's how he got work in the wrestling business. He carried jackets. He sold tickets. He sold refreshments before becoming a manager. He also wrestled very briefly as well back in the 60s. Back in 1965, he wrestled very, very briefly. And his gimmick over the years, was a tough-talking big mouth who cowered in fear when being physically confronted. That's how he was. And he spoke for his wrestlers. He riled up the crowd during matches. He would cheat on their behalf. And he went on to manage some of the most successful wrestlers in the history of the business. And I just named several of them. And it's a sad day. I wish Heenan and his family the best, his wife and his daughter, his brother, and the rest of his family, nothing but the best. And right now, I'd like to go into the infamous Mae Young Classic. That's right, the Mae Young Classic took place and it just ended. And it had some phenomenal female wrestlers, contracted WWE wrestlers. That's the interesting thing about this Mae Young Classic is that half of the females that participated in that tournament were contracted WWE wrestlers. Only a select few of them were not contracted WWE wrestlers. Some of them who are currently wrestling on the independent circuit from all over the world. The tournament was won by Kairi Sane, who signed with WWE not too long ago. It had some amazing matches. The tournament was well received, and it was very well. It was a good tournament, an awesome tournament, and I thought it was amazing. I thought it was good. The matches was good. The females and the caliber of their styles was just amazing. And WWE, I hope they do it again. Was amazing. Independent wrestlers, second generation wrestlers like Lacey Evans, who was the daughter of I believe she's the daughter of Paul Ellering, if my memory is correct. Then you got Tessa Blanchard, who's the daughter of Hall of Famer Tully Blanchard. It was a good tournament, good matches. I enjoyed it. I hope they do it again, and I hope WWE keeps this good work up with women's wrestling. They've turned women's wrestling around and they made it important again. They took it from just being about bra and panties to actual wrestling. So that's good. That's very good. It's a step up in the right direction for female wrestling. And now I'd like to move into No Mercy, which is this Sunday. This Sunday is No Mercy. And one of the matches can't believe I'm actually saying this. One of the matches I'm looking forward to is John Cena and Roman Reigns. And this is tough to pick a winner. I honestly don't know who I think is going to win this match, but if I had to guess, I would probably have to say Roman Reigns. And the two took some hard jabs at each other. They took some real hard jabs at each other. It went from being a promo to a legit shoot. Both men said what they actually felt about each other. And it was an interesting segment. It was a very good segment between those two. Roman Reigns calling John a hypocrite. Everybody that John Cena is going to be beaten by another Samoan other than The Rock. John Cena saying that he's still here, he's going to do his job, and because Roman Reigns can't do his right, he can't do a promo So that's going to be a very interesting match. Another interesting match will be the Braun Strowman Brock Lesnar match. Ooh, I'm going to have to pick Brock Lesnar on this one. I don't think they're going to have Brock drop the title to Braun Strowman. I don't think Brock is going to lose the title, not until later on. I think they're going to have Brock hold the championship and lose it later on. And he's doing a good job making Braun Strowman look strong. I mean, he did an amazing job at SummerSlam. He was the MVP of that match. He was the legit MVP of that match. But anyway, let me give a rundown of the current matches that are going to take place this Sunday. You got Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman, Universal title match. You got John Cena versus Roman Reigns. You got Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. You have Neville versus Enzo Amore for the Cruiserweight title. You got Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Nia Jax, and Emma in a fatal five-way for the Women's Championship. And the recently added Intercontinental Championship match, The Miz and Jason Jordan. I think The Miz will be dropping the title to Jason Jordan. Miz, supposedly, I'm not sure. I don't know the backstory. Maybe it's true. He will be a father. And if he is, that's good for him. And I do think that's a legit reason for him to drop the title. But anyway, here's an interesting thing about this pay-per-view this Sunday is that every title on Raw is on the line. All 5 championships on Raw is on the line. And my honest opinion, I think maybe, just maybe, we'll see 2 new title changes. The Intercontinental Championship, in my estimation, will change hands, and the Women's Championship will change hands this Sunday. Anyway, I'm going to move on to No Mercy. No Mercy will be the next pay-per-view following. I said No Mercy. I meant to say Hell in a Cell. Excuse me. All these pay-per-views are being done so close together. It's crazy. But anyway, No Mercy will be October 8th, which is right around the corner. And right now there's only 2 matches. The WWE Championship match, Jinder Mahal against Shinsuke Nakamura, and Shane McMahon against Kevin Owens, and the Hell in a Cell match. But Shane McMahon is in another Hell in a Cell match, which is crazy. But anyway, I gotta believe Kevin Owens may win this one. I think Kevin Owens is gonna take this match. And I think Shinsuke Nakamura will be the new WWE champion. I think Nakamura is going to take the title. Mahal will probably drop the championship at Hell in a Cell. Me personally, I feel the WWE championship should have been inside the Hell in a Cell instead of Shane and Kevin Owens. I do like what they're doing with the McMahon versus Owens feud. This is what they're going with. Owens is now feuding with the McMahon family. They had Kevin Owens participate in an awesome segment with Shane McMahon's father, Mr. McMahon. Owens, who attacked Mr. McMahon and laying him out. Mr. McMahon refusing to be taken out on a stretcher. It was the first time Stephanie McMahon was seen on television since WrestleMania. And the segment was very, very good. I know the segment did leave a bad taste in the mouths of some people due to Vince's age. Vince is well in his 70s, still taking bumps, which is amazing at his age. And the guy looks phenomenal at his age. I mean, he has the body of a 30-year-old guy. I mean, the guy is just awesome, his body. He works out every day. He's an avid weightlifter, an avid trainer. Owens, who told McMahon that he does not want to be fired or suspended after he beat Shane McMahon up. And he wanted McMahon, Mr. McMahon, to give his word that he can beat a McMahon senseless. McMahon agreed, shook Owens' hand, and that's when Kevin Owens viciously assaulted Mr. McMahon. He started the attack with a headbutt. A headbutt that opened up McMahon. McMahon was bleeding from the forehead after the headbutt Kevin Owens gave him. Owens would proceed to then give him a frog splash up the top rope to end the segment. Awesome segment. I'm interested to see what's going to happen tomorrow night on SmackDown. And Shane McMahon, who is supposed to return to TV after being kayfabe suspended by his father, Vince McMahon. And I'm not sure what they're going to do with the other matches in terms of the pay-per-view for No Mercy. I do think AJ Styles will defend the United States Championship. I do think the New Day will face the Usos again, possibly in another tag team championship match after recently beating the Usos to win back the tag team titles. And that's what I believe is going to happen. And let me go into Global Force. There's been some new title changes in the world of Global Force. Eli Drake, who is now the Impact World Champion after Alberto El Patron was stripped of the championship. Eli Drake, who is the world champion, I think it's good that a TNA original is the world champion. We also have a new tag team champions. Ohio versus Everything defeated LAX, And these episodes, the episode where the tag team titles change hands, spoiler alert, will air on September 21st on Pop TV. And Sienna, who is still the Knockouts champion. Trevor Lee, who just recently won the X Division championship for a third time. And EC3, who is still the reigning Impact Grand Champion. And right now, GFW is moving towards the next pay-per-view, which is Bound for Glory, which is scheduled to take place soon. And I'm about to go into Bound for Glory. Bound for Glory, they actually have the entire card set up for Bound for Glory. Global Force, who have taped all their shows weeks and weeks into advance, and these episodes of GFW Impact are not going to be airing until later on this month and earlier on next month into late next month. So they have the entire card set for Bound for Glory. One of the interesting matches I've came across for Bound for Glory is out of Stephen Bonner. That's right, Stephen Bonner. You MMA fans may know him from his UFC days, the former UFC fighter who's currently a UFC Hall of Famer, will be wrestling at this year's Bound for Glory, if you can believe that. He will be participating in a tag team match. Bobby Lashley will also be participating in that match as well. And that should be an interesting one. Johnny Impact, the former John Morrison, is now in TNA. I said TNA. GFW. He's wrestling under the name Johnny Impact. He now has a new wrestling name, which is like his 7th or 8th name right now. Eli Drake will be defending the World Championship against him. And Sienna will also be defending the Knockouts Championship. Yes, the Knockouts Championship. Actually, every championship will be on the line at Bound for Glory. I believe this is the 10th. If my memory is correct, it may be the 9th or 10th Bound for Glory this is taking place. I'm I'm trying to get confirmation on this. This might be the nice Bound for Glory pay-per-view that's about to come up. Anyway, I'd like to move in and focus back on NXT real quick. That's right, NXT, who is scheduled to have another takeover soon. I believe her next takeover is supposed to be before a Survivor Series. And rumor has it is that Drew McIntyre will defend the NXT Championship against Adam Cole, and Sanity will defend the NXT Tag Team titles against the newly reunited Red Dragon, the team of Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. Now, supposedly, these matches are supposed to take place at the next NXT takeover, which will take place in November, which is scheduled to take place in November. After what happened at the last NXT takeover, I won't be surprised if that's what they're going to go with. Adam Cole, who just signing the WWE, now he is the 5th former Bullet Club member who is under WWE contract. The other 4, you got Finn Balor, Anderson and Gallows, and AJ Styles. So you got 5 former Bullet Club members under WWE. And let me look up, do believe, yes, NXT, November. The next NXT takeover will be in November, scheduled to take place the night before Survivor Series. And there's no date for it yet, but that's what it says here. It is scheduled to take place the night before Survivor Series, and there will be another one that will take place, which is scheduled to take place the night before the Royal Rumble in January, which will be emanating in Philadelphia, which brings up an interesting conversation. Since they're in Philadelphia, you got to be wondering, will WWE be doing any surprise entrances? And I wouldn't be surprised. I think they should, to bring some nostalgia and for the Royal Rumble there in Philadelphia. Maybe some former ECW alumni, maybe an RVD or Tommy Dreamer make a surprise appearance in the Royal Rumble match. I think that's very likely to happen. And WWE Network tonight will be airing the newest season of Storytime, WWE Storytime Season 2, which is airing actually right now. It's supposed to take place after Raw tonight. So for those of you who don't know, I'm going to give you guys a little spoiler alert. So if you don't want to know these upcoming pay-per-views, I suggest you turn away now. Here is the upcoming pay-per-views and WWE Live specials are scheduled to take place in the coming months. You have NXT TakeOver Houston the night before Survivor Series, November 18th, 2017, which is this year, of course. We all know that. Survivor Series, November 19th. Clash of Champions will be taking place in December. TLC Tables, Ladders, and Chairs will be taking place in October this year, October 22nd, at the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the hometown of Brock Lesnar. It's a good chance they may have Brock Lesnar wrestle at Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. And we go on to 2018 NXT TakeOver Philadelphia, January 27th. Royal Rumble, January 28th. WrestleMania, April 8th, NXT TakeOver New Orleans will be April 7th, the night before. And then you have WrestleMania 34, which I just mentioned. Oh, wait a minute. I'll be damned. Here's something new which I didn't know. NXT Brooklyn TakeOver 4. NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4. And SummerSlam will also be returning August 19th. the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. I gotta be honest, I thought this year's SummerSlam was the last SummerSlam to take place at the Barclays Center. I guess they're gonna be doing it again this year, or next year. I am making so many mistakes tonight. I'm still shaking up over the loss of Bobby Heenan. Like, that is such a huge, massive loss. And there's been people tweeting about it all day. That is the only talk that's going on in the wrestling world right now. Everybody is just in a massive state of shock. I can't remember anybody being shaken up over a loss this bad since Roddy Piper passed in 2015. But that is the upcoming pay-per-view list for WWE in the coming months. And that is a total of 1, 2, let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They already have 8 shows and pay-per-views lined up for next year, 2018. Not bad at all. 8 pay-per-views already lined up for 2018, and 6 have been confirmed. So it's going to be an interesting year. And rumor has it, I also want to talk about this, is that there's a rumor going around that WWE may bring back the NWA WCW Winter Pay-Per-View Classic Starrcade, which is just a rumor. I heard about it a few days ago. I didn't get much detail about it. I'm assuming it's only just a rumor, which I'm hoping it is, because it really doesn't make sense for WWE to do a Starrcade. I mean, they have WrestleMania. There's no sense to do a Starrcade, in my personal opinion. That's like, for example, several years ago, Triple H brought up the idea about bringing back War Games and bringing War Games into WWE. Vince saying no, which I agree with. And that was how the Elimination Chamber was created, because Triple H brought up doing War Games. So if you can imagine, if Triple H hadn't brought up War Games, we wouldn't have an Elimination Chamber. Interesting story. Very interesting. Very interesting stuff. Well, that is the lineup for WWE's upcoming pay-per-views. And I'm not sure, I haven't really gotten into what's going on with New Japan Pro Wrestling. I do know right now that their streaming service, New Japan World, is doing very well. They have over, I believe it's over 9,000 or 10,000 people have already subscribed over it in the United States alone. So they're kicking up steam. They're getting pretty good stuff for them in the U.S. They're supposed to be doing more shows in the United States. They have a United States Championship. Kenny Omega is the current United States Championship. That's right, I said U.S. Championship. Yes. New Japan does have a United States Championship. They also have an Intercontinental Championship, if you can believe that. It seems like they're copying WWE. First an Intercontinental Championship, now a United States Championship. Interesting. And here's another interesting thing. AJ Styles, former Bullet Club member, current WWE United States Champion. Kenny Omega, the current leader of Bullet Club, is the current and first reigning, defending New Japan United States Champion. No, I don't think that is, I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence at all. But I'm looking forward to SmackDown. I'm looking forward to see what Shane McMahon is going to do and what his response is going to be to his father being brutally attacked by Kevin Owens last week on SmackDown. And Natalia, I want to talk about Natalia real quick. She won the SmackDown Women's Championship at SummerSlam. It was her first Women's Championship win since 2010. So if you can believe that, it's been 7 long years since that woman has had a championship. I mean, this woman is the best wrestler in the company. She works hard, and I do believe she deserves a lot more than what she's been getting. I'm happy she's the champion. I hope she gets a long and decent title run because she honestly deserves more than what she's been getting. The stupid farting gimmick they gave her a few years ago was ridiculous. They didn't even add her to the Survivor Series female team at Survivor Series last year. She wasn't initially in the match, but they added her into the match anyway. They should have put her in the match in the first place. They've just been downgrading that woman. I'm just happy that she's in the spot she's in right now. I wish her nothing but the best, and I hope they do something right with her. Let her rock. Let her have a nice, somewhat long, decent run with that title. I mean, she can have some awesome matches, and I do believe that this woman can carry the SmackDown Women's division. It's like she can carry it, and she's a leader. She's a locker room leader. She's trained several of the rookies. So she has everything it takes to carry that brand, to carry that women's division for a while. And SmackDown is honestly the wrestling show of the company. I remember Cesaro venting about not being on SmackDown. He wanted to go to SmackDown. He didn't like being on Raw. He mentioned that on WWE camera, on WWE TV. He mentioned he was unhappy. He deserved better. He wanted to be on SmackDown because SmackDown is a wrestling show of the company. And he's stuck on Raw. But I like what they're doing with him. I like the team of him and Sheamus, the Bar. They're a phenomenal team. They're a hell of a hand. They're great together. I enjoy their work. I enjoy their matches. All their matches are good. They haven't had a bad match since they've been together as a team. The matches they've had with the Hardys and Ambrose and Rollins, those matches have been very good. So I'm very interested to see what this match is going to be like at Hell in a Cell this Sunday. And I said it before, they got Ambrose and Rollins. The only piece that's missing is Roman Reigns. We may see a Shield reunion. I don't know when. I don't know where. But I honestly believe it's coming. I believe a Shield reunion is coming. The 3 of them will be back together. And I think they're just going to run roughshod on Raw. That's my honest opinion. I don't believe it's an accident that Rollins, Reigns, and Ambrose are all on the same show. I don't think that's no accident. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that's something the company is planning for somewhere down the line in the future. Yeah, that's what I feel is going to happen. A possible Shield reunion. And I called it. I want everybody to know it happens. I called it first. Speaking of John Cena, who's competing this Sunday, John Cena has some more movies lined up on the way. So John Cena will be leaving again. The part-timer is scheduled to be filming Daddy's Home 2. Actually, he's almost done filming that movie with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. But John Cena does have some other movies scheduled. So he'll be leaving pretty soon again to go to work on those other movies in his reality show, American Grit. So he will continue to do what he does. Mr. Part-Timer, Chris Jericho, who's secretly working on his 4th book. That's why Chris hasn't been seen. And he's also been working on a new Fozzy album, which is the reason why Chris hasn't been on TV lately. So he will be returning to TV pretty, I don't want to say soon, but he'll be back. He'll be back once it's time for him to come back. Me, I'm a big Fozzy fan. I got into Fozzy because I had to check out Chris. I heard he was in the band. I wanted to see if the band was any good. And it turns out that the band was actually pretty damn good. And I've been a fan ever since. I've been hooked. They've put out over 4 albums. They've sold very well. They've got an awesome fan base. They're awesome live. They're good on disc. If you haven't seen or heard Fozzy, I suggest you check him out. The music is really good. Chris also has a podcast. That's right, Chris also has a podcast. I remember someone asked me not too long ago, do I think there are too many wrestling podcasts? And my answer was no. No. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own opinions, and that's the way it should be. Just like I say, is there too many wrestling companies? No. The more wrestling companies, the better it is for the business. The better it is for the guys and the girls. There's other places for them to go and work. That's how I feel. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy that there's other places for men and women to go and apply their craft. If a person's not happy in a certain company, they can go somewhere else and be happy in another area. As like, for example, when Cody Rhodes was unhappy with WWE, what happened? He left. He left, and he's on the biggest role of his career right now. He's currently the ROH World Heavyweight Champion. And I think, to the best of my recollection, I gotta look this up and check if I'm right, but I do believe that him and his father, Dusty Rhodes, are the only father and son duo to be world champions. I could be wrong, but I think they're the... No, wait, I'm wrong, that's right. I almost forgot about the Von Erichs. Fritz Von Erich and his son, Kerry Von Erich, are former world champions. Fritz, who's wrestled and owned, Fritz wrestled and owns his own territory and his own company, where he is a former world champion. His son, Kerry, perhaps the most famous of the Von Erich boys, he is a former 2-time world champion while working for his father in WCCW, and he is also a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. That's right, he beat Ric Flair to win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship using a backslide of all moves. But anyway, yeah. So we got the Von Erichs, and we got Dusty and Cody Rhodes, the only 2 father and son duos to be world champions in the wrestling business. Which is pretty damn cool and pretty damn interesting at the same time. But again, back to Cody Rhodes. He's doing the best work of his career. I mean, the guy has been on fire. He's on the biggest role of his career. He's also wrestling in New Japan due to the joint partnership New Japan has with Ring of Honor. He's competed for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. He's also competed for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. He came up short in both matches, but I'm sure he'll get another opportunity at one of those championships again. The Bullet Club is continuing to dominate both New Japan and ROH. The Young Bucks, current and reigning multiple-time ROH World Tag Team Champions. They just had an awesome match with the All Night Express, the team of Rhett Titus and his tag team partner, Kenny King. Those of you who are not familiar with Kenny King, he's wrestled in both. He's spent some time in TNA. Him and MVP and Bobby Lashley were part of a trio known as the Beatdown Clan, which they added Low Key and Samoa Joe. But anyway, that's the current news for ROH right now. There really isn't much going on in Ring of Honor. I do know New Japan is looking to come back to the United States and do some more shows, which is good. New Japan needs to do that. They need to get that United States fan base, and it's growing. Their fan base in the United States is growing. It's growing massively. And there's been people talking about and saying, you know what, maybe WWE will be in trouble. To be honest, you can't compete with WWE. WWE right now is uncompetable. You know, New Japan spent they're a Japan-based wrestling company, and after 40 years of just starting now to do shows in the United States, there's no one that can touch WWE right now. And WWE will always be on top. Right now, they're uncompetable. There's no one that can compete with our company right now. Period. They're uncompetable. There's no one that can touch them in terms of pay-per-view bars and ticket sales and merchandise. WWE is on top right now. They're kicking ass. The company is a monster. There's a reason why the company is at where it's at right now. Unbeatable. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, WTracks will move to morning broadcast. That's right. WTracks will be moving to morning broadcast pretty soon. So listen to us in the mornings. We are going to be on in the mornings. I'd like to go back to Bobby Heenan real quick. I don't have a lot of stories on Bobby, but I want to share some Bobby Heenan moments real quick. Bobby, the guy was funny. I mean, he was massively funny. He was quick on the mic. He was quick-witted. He was just as good as any stand-up comedian on television. I mean, he was that good. I remember some of the funniest things he said. I remember one time during the 1992 Royal Rumble match, Ric Flair was in the ring with Roddy Piper and Jake Roberts. Jake Roberts was about to deliver the DDT to Ric Flair, and Roddy Piper clotheslined him. And Bobby Heenan's response was, "I never thought I'd say this, but thank you, Roddy. It's not a skirt, it's a kilt." And then Roddy Piper would then attack Ric Flair, and Heenan would respond by saying, "You no good creep. Why you no good creep? You skirt-wearing freak. It's not a kilt, it's a skirt." Heenan was just unbelievable. And my favorite Bobby Heenan line of all time was when Andre the Giant turned face after he and Haku lost the tag titles at WrestleMania 6 to Demolition. And Heenan slapped Andre the Giant, and Andre returned by slapping Heenan and throwing him around the ring before throwing him out of the ring. Gene Okerlund would interview Bobby Heenan in the back, and Bobby Heenan would respond by saying, "You listen to me, you go to the top. You don't listen to me, you're never heard from again." That was my favorite Heenan line of all time. Heenan, I always admire your work. I enjoy your work. You will greatly be missed. Bobby Heenan was the best of all time. There hasn't been. Bobby's in a class by himself. Period. Oh, and I also want to talk about some WWE home videos that have just recently came out. I'm not sure if any of you listeners buy these DVDs, but a lot of them are very good. You should check some of these out. Anyway, here's a list of some of the most recent DVDs that have came out. You have Seth Rollins, Building an Architect. I personally have that DVD. It's a good one. Kurt Angle, The Essential Collection, which is also good. I've seen that one myself. You also have Fight Owens Fight, The True Story of Kevin Owens. You also have Our Nation's Pride, WWE's Best of Canada DVD. Now, this DVD is about Canadian wrestlers from Canada. And it shows WWE's long history, Canada. And here's a list of some of the wrestlers who are featured on this DVD. You have Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, Trish Stratus, Lance Storm, Edge and Christian, and the Hart family. That's right, the Hart family, which includes Natalia, her uncles Brett and Owen, Jimmy and Bernard Hart, the British Bulldog, and several other members of the Hart family. And there are also some very good matches on this DVD as well. You got the Bret Hart versus Owen Hart match from WrestleMania 10. You have Chris Jericho versus Lance Storm from ECW One Night Stand in 2005. You also have Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. I have not seen that DVD, but I heard it's good. When I get a chance, I'll check that DVD out. WWE also has an upcoming DVD titled Unreleased Classics Volume 1, which is, this DVD is about rare matches. That's right, very rare matches that have never been seen until now. That's right, WWE will be putting out a collection of rare matches that have never been seen by a lot of people. So I'm interested to see what kind of matches are going to be on this DVD, because there have been several, hundreds of really seen matches that a lot of people have not seen. Hell, there's matches that people never knew existed. I've had the opportunity to see some rare matches. For example, there's been a six-man tag match between Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, and Ricky Steamboat taking on the Hart Foundation and the Honky Tonk Man in the six-man tag match. You even had the Steiner brothers face Bret and Owen Hart in a rare tag team match. Another rare match I had the opportunity to see was an Iron Man match between Bret Hart and Ric Flair. That's right. There's been several Iron Man matches that WWE has done that wasn't seen on television, but they have been seen, but they've really been seen by a lot of people. That's right, Bret Hart also competed in the Iron Man match against his own brother Owen, which was a rare match. So I'm interested to see if any of those matches I mentioned are going to be on that DVD. There's been thousands and thousands of matches that the WWE has recorded from house shows that they have never aired. But some matches have aired, some hasn't. So I'm very interested to see what matches are going to be on this DVD. So that's going to be interesting. There's also a rumor going around that they may do a Shane McMahon DVD. They already did one on his father. So this rumor I actually believe is going to happen. I do believe that this rumor is true. I do believe that this DVD will come out highlighting some of Shane McMahon's best moments and best matches throughout his time in the WWE before he left and came back last year in 2016. And I got to be honest, I remember when Shane left, I went on record by saying this to some of my friends. A lot of people thought he was never coming back. I was like, he's going to come back. I guarantee you he's going to come back. And to be honest, over the years, there's been a lot of people who have left the WWE and said they weren't returning. And they all returned. In some way, shape, or form, they all come back, whether it's for a Hall of Fame induction or a cameo, or to be back part-time or full-time, whatever the case may be, they all come back. As like when CM Punk said he's never going to return, I don't believe that. They all come back. It's like there's been so many guys that have done that over the years. Your Bret Hart, your who else has done this? Bruno Sammartino, Alberto Del Rio at one point left and said he wasn't returning and came back. So yeah, they all come back. Raven's another one. Even Raven came back. He left and came back. Raven participated in the Paul Heyman DVD. He also participated on the History of the Hardcore title DVD. Raven is also on that stupid concussion suit, which I want to talk about real quick. It's one of the most ridiculous things I've heard. Me personally, it's bullshit. I just think that those people on that suit are just there to get some money. That's all they want is money out of that company. It's ridiculous. I mean, you know what? I have a list of some of the people that are on this concussion suit. And here's some of the names that are on this list. You have Coco Beware, Kamala, Chavo Guerrero Jr., Raven, Sabu. That's right, I said Sabu. I don't know why this guy's even on there in the first place. The Powers of Pain, Demolition, Ahmed Johnson, Adam Bomb, Rodney Mack, Ashley Mazzano, Jazz, yeah, that's it so far. That's all I got so far. There's another person, but I'm trying to remember who it is. Nails. There we go, Nails. Some of you who are not familiar with Nails was, I don't know his real name, but his character was, he portrayed a prison inmate who feuded with the Big Boss Man in the early 1990s. He claimed that the Big Boss Man mistreated him while he was in jail. He came in to get his revenge on the Boss Man for what he's done to him and how he treated him while he was in jail. Well, anyway, his time in WWE didn't last long because he was fired for attacking Vince McMahon due to a pay dispute. He says Vince McMahon didn't pay him enough. He was unhappy about his pay that he got for SummerSlam 92. And at the end of the 1992 Survivor Series, he confronted McMahon in his locker room or dressing room or office, whatever the case may be, and attacked McMahon. And McMahon fired him, so that was the end of Nails. And Nails has hated McMahon ever since. And this has been going on for over 20-something years. And it's no surprise he's on that concussion suit, so that doesn't surprise me. He's hated Vince ever since. But anyway, I just think that concussion suit is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I want to talk about Demolition real quick. People talk about why Demolition is not in the Hall of Fame, that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. And to be honest, they do deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I believe they're one of the greatest tag teams of all time, which they are. They were dominant. They were the longest tag team champions during that era when tag team wrestling was on fire and it was important. They did a lot of work. They were absolutely one of the greats. But in my personal opinion, they're not going into the Hall of Fame as long as they are on that concussion suit. And you know what? The WWE, that company, McMahon included, they can be spiteful at times. You know, there's a reason why the New Day are the longest tag team champions in the history of the company than any other tag team title in the history of the company. There's been several other tag team titles throughout the history of the WWE. They had a women's tag team title. But anyway, we're talking about the male tag team titles. The World Tag Team titles, which was retired in 2010. Then you have the current SmackDown Tag Team titles. But anyway, out of all the Tag Team Championships, all the reigns, the New Day holds the record of being the longest team to ever hold tag titles in that company. So they made sure the New Day passed Demolition's record on purpose. I think that's their way of them being spiteful for them being on that concussion shit. Same thing with Nikki Bella being the longest reigning Divas champion, so she can break AJ's record due to her being married to CM Punk and CM Punk's exit with the company. So a lot of people in the higher ups are not happy about that. So that's what happened with that. But anyway, I had fun. I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed doing the show. I'll see you again next time, and we'll talk more wrestling. Oh, and before I sign off, wrestling magazines. Wrestling magazines are obsolete. I think the era of wrestling magazines is dying. But I do want to say, and I have to say this, people, check out Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Pro Wrestling Illustrated is one of the only magazines that is left in the wrestling world. There are several others. There's only a few in other countries. There is FHM or FSM. Not sure which the initials are, but I believe it's FHM, which is a wrestling magazine that's still around. And you have Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Check out Pro Wrestling Illustrated. It's the #1 main wrestling magazine in the wrestling world. The magazine has been around since 1972, and it has been an absolute staple throughout the history of this business. Check out the magazine. And you can also pick up copies of classic Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazines from years past on their website at ProWrestlingIllustrated.com. And again, before I sign off, we will be doing morning shows. That's right, we are going to be doing morning shows. Anyway, I'm David Marvel Burton, signing off till I see you guys again. And to quote Bill Apter, see you at the bow.
I've been in the hot seat before, but I've never been in the Scott seat. HGTV's Drew and Jonathan Scott are put on the DIY spot. And